Susan, thank you for taking the time to chat. But what's the situation in Memphis? I know you just sent out some communication to your team, and how are you as a manager, helping calibrate expectations the next few weeks as we head towards the end of the fiscal year?
So just as a little background of where we are at the university, last week was our spring break. We have extended spring break 1 week. So we have no students on campus currently, or very few students. The intent for the university is that we will go to an online platform which is similar to what most universities are doing across the country. Probably for the remainder of the semester is what I am anticipating. We are limiting the amount of travel that our major gift team is doing. I actually sent out a directive yesterday telling folks that there should be no travel at all until after May 1st, and not to really be planning anything until the end of the fiscal year, just for safety's sake, and to help us avoid having to cancel those meetings down the road. All of our meetings are going to online platforms, all of our team meetings, all of our one-on-ones. We have Blue Jeans, which is what we use here at the university. And so that's new for our team. I am also...
Blue Jeans is a video?
It is. It's like a Zoom or something of that nature.
All right.
So one of the things that I did ask was that everybody connect by video. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is I think it's important that we see each other. This whole social distancing, you feel like you live in a little vacuum sometimes. And so to know that you have supportive team members, I think is important. The other thing is I will know that people are there and paying attention, and they're not vacuuming the house or, doing other things while they're on their headset, and I don't have any video. So I want to make sure that everybody is present just like they would be at an in-person meeting. I'm limiting those meetings to an hour. Typically they're an hour and a half. I will have an agenda that I send out ahead of time. It's pushing me into spaces that I had not been using before. I tend to be a little loose with my agenda. I always have an idea and some notes, but it's never written down and overly structured. I'm going to move into a more structured format for those. I think it will also allow me.
Is that once a week?
I'm sorry?
Once a week?
Yes, we meet once a week as a team, and I do individual meetings, one-on-ones monthly. I'm moving those to online as well. Yep. Those are when we look at people's individual metrics. I know we talked a little bit before. I'll talk a little bit about how we're shifting our metrics a bit. Metrics are important. We are coming upon the last quarter of the fiscal year. It's a critical time. As I'm sure other teams do, we tend to kick the can down the road until those last few months and think, I'm going to meet a lot of people in these last few weeks, months. Well, that has turned out not to be the case so much this year. So I'm adjusting with an expectation that activity, interactions with donors, prospects, and portfolios is heightened, with perhaps a little less expectation on the major gift solicitation side and the dollars in. A couple of reasons. One, I think that's harder to do in a virtual platform if it's outside of our comfort zone, which is where we are right now. I think that we can get to a place where that's not unusual, but right now it is a little unusual for us. I also think it's a little bit inappropriate, perhaps, to be asking people to make contributions to things that are honestly not top of mind for them right now. So, our balance right now is we can't seem inappropriate, like we're taking advantage of a situation with where the world is right now, and we're trying to capitalize on that. I know you've seen businesses that are doing that.
I just got an email about hand sanitizer being available from a certain vendor this morning, and I was like, that's good to know, but it's a little creepy. Shady. Yeah,
it is. But at the same time, we can't be silent and ignore it, because then that sends a different message. So we have to be able to be present. We have to be appropriate. So a lot of what we're doing as our team, and what I plan to do in our first meeting this week virtually, is to talk about messaging. What are the words that we need to be using? We have some approved language from university marketing about where the university stands on things, but I think that we have to soften that a fair amount for our donors. Yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's uncertain times, and we're all just trying to figure this out. But I think it's having conversations like this and being able to share it is super critical. How are you recalibrating expectations on metrics? I know you said you'll be tracking a lot still on activity, but not so much on solicitations. And what kind of activity are you expecting from your team?
So I expect that to be meaningful. I define meaningful something that moves the relationship forward. I don't necessarily think email that is general invitation to an event or something of that necessarily moves a relationship forward. However, I do feel like a personalized email. I'll give you an example. I have a donor who lives in Florida. He has some health issues that are already underlying for him, and he and his wife tend to go on cruises frequently. I just sent him a quick email and said, hey, I'm thinking of you and your wife. I hope you don't have a cruise plan. This is messing up your
Stay
plans. Hope you're
landlocked.
doing well. Stay safe. To which he replied back, thank you very much. That's the kind of thing that I feel like moves relationships forward, so that whenever we get through this time of crisis, you kind of pick that relationship up and you are closer to being able to make an ask. I'm allowing them to enter those as what we would consider a scheduled personal visit or a face-to-face interaction, because I am discouraging face-to-face interactions for obvious reasons, and I don't want to count them on face-to-face interactions and tell them they can't have them at the same time.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
now,
fair.
as far as the dollars and the solicitations, I mean, this is so fresh. I mean, it's Tuesday. We got word on Friday or Thursday last week, so I'm still ironing that out a fair amount. We've ordered note cards so that we make sure that we're resourced there. I'm exploring some email video technologies where you can actually send a personalized email to someone with a video attached to it. So we're just exploring some things right now.
Yeah, I think we all are. We're all trying to figure that out, and it is an opportunity that when the time is right, to make an ask and to support students, right? And so thinking about whether it's the food pantry or their student support funds, at Memphis and things like that maybe will come further down the road.
I think probably, I think there are some positives that come out of things like this. And this one, for example, I think it pushes us into technology platforms that frankly we should have been using all along. That we have been hesitant to use. I'll give you an example. We've had a weekly or biweekly call with someone that's out of state, and it's through our Blue Jeans platform, which is a conference video, phone conferencing platform, and everybody has congregated in one office to do that. I have yet to understand that. I'm like, wait, we have this capacity. Can I do this from my office or my house or wherever? So we're pushing ourselves in that space. I think that's good. I also know that our major gift officers do not spend enough time with the prospects in their portfolio that they are not actively planning to solicit in the near future. This is going to force them to spend more time thoughtfully building relationships with those people. And I think if we can get used to that pattern, that when we come out of this situation, we are going to be positioned, our pipeline is going to be much more prepared to make an ask in the near future. So I think those are good things that will come from this. Also opportunities to talk to donors about things that are important to them, that doesn't always feel like we're just out with our hands saying, hey, give us money.
It's an opportunity to listen more than to necessarily go in with an agenda and figure out how you can help. And if there's a way, where their interests and what Memphis is doing align. And
right.
And that's the perfect marriage. If you were talking to a room full of other team leaders, and had one piece of advice to share at this point, what would it be?
Be patient, be flexible. This is the time to be flexible, to trust your team. I have encouraged our team to work remotely. There's not anything that we do that requires our frontline team to be in the office, particularly at a time when students are going to online platforms, faculty are not going to be as accessible. My expectation from remote working is that you're actually working. Sometimes remote working is code for, I'm working from home. That's code for I'm taking a day off. And I'm going to check my emails every once in a while. So, you know, monitoring that, I think it's going to be important that managers are very engaged with the individuals that they're managing, not in a micromanagement kind of way, but really intentional so that people still feel like they're part of a team. But yeah, I think flexibility and patience is going to rule the day for a while.
Yeah, it's a time for managers to manage, but like you said, not micromanage, but just be present, be flexible, have clear lines of communication. We use Slack as a team to talk internally, and we went fully remote about a week ago now, and so that platform has been more active than ever because we're all that's our connection to each other, and it's been
Right.
really fun to see, and really good. And some of it's been work related, and some of it's been about Tom Brady leaving the Patriots, which broke like an hour ago. So
Oh, I didn't know that. My
yeah,
son,
breaking news right here. As a Bills fan, I'm very excited about the future of the
yeah,
NFL.
my son's going to be devastated.
I'm sorry, man. You should maybe you should root for the Titans or something.
No kidding. There you go. I like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
Sure, I'm happy to be here. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone out there that's trying to figure